Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I think I have decided that I'm going to change my channel into a nursing channel and kind of talk about my journey and what's going to happen from here on out as I am beginning my nursing degree. Today I am going to be talking about my nursing journey. I just became an RN a week and a half ago, so I'm pretty new to it, but I want to talk about graduating high school, going through nursing school, and how I got to where I am now. So I graduated high school in 2017, and all throughout high school there was a little bit of time in high school where I thought I wanted to be a music major, but for the most part I knew that I wanted to be a nurse. And so I took some classes in high school, anatomy and physiology and some medical terminology to get more familiar with the body systems, and because it was interesting to me and I just wanted to make sure that nursing is what I wanted to do. So I graduated in 2017, and in the fall of 2017 I went to a local community college. I decided to go to a community college because the price was a lot cheaper, and all of the other nursing schools around me were private schools that I was looking into or four-year schools, and I felt like I could go to a community college, live at home, and still get a good education. So the first year of college I did all of my generals. I got a couple credits going into college because I had taken college level classes or AP classes in high school that counted for some of those credits, so I didn't have to take some generals, which could have pushed me back another year. So if you want to get ahead in college, take college level classes in high school. So my first year I did all of my generals, and then the spring of my freshman year of college I applied for the nursing program, and you had to take this test called the TEAS test, and it would give you a score, and they would use that test and your GPA to basically rank you. So like the people that had the highest GPAs and the highest scores on the TEAS test would get the first spot. And so I got in right away, but my community college had two campuses, and I got assigned to the campus that was 45 minutes away. And so I emailed the person that was basically in charge of everything, and I was like, hey, I want to transfer to this other campus that was only 15 minutes away. So I was put on a wait list for that campus, and then a couple days later I got an email saying there was a spot open, and so I got to go to the campus that was only 15 minutes away. So my second year of college I was in the nursing program. We had 3 semesters because it's a community college, so I was just going for my 2-year, and so we did 3 semesters of nursing school. The first semester we went to a nursing home for clinicals. Second semester is also a nursing home, but we got to do a little bit more because we would learn more skills each semester. And then the last semester we were in the hospital, and at the time of my second semester I had gotten a job as a nursing assistant in a local hospital, and so then by the time we got to the third semester I got assigned to the hospital that I worked at, and I was on the floor that I worked on, and so I knew how everything went, and so I just got to practice my nursing skills on the floor that I worked on as a nursing assistant. So graduated in 2017, did my first year of generals, my second and half of my third year of nursing school, and so I graduated in December of 2019 with my 2-year nursing degree. And then I signed up to take my NCLEX or state boards, whatever you want to call it, the test that you have to take to become a nurse, and I signed up to take it at the end of January of 2020, so just a couple months ago. And so I was studying, I was doing this online thing that we had to buy for school to study, and so it just carried over after school, so that's what I was using to study. They said it would work great, so I used that, and I didn't feel very prepared going into the test. And so I took the test. I got all 265 questions because you can take a minimum of 75 and a maximum of 265. And basically, once they think you met the competency of being a nurse, then they pass you. So it could shut off at any number, or it could stop once you reach the 265. So I got all 265. I did not feel good about the test at all. And then the next day I found out that I had failed the test. And I was kind of expecting it because, like I said, I didn't feel good after it, and I didn't feel like I knew enough information in order to pass. And so I took a little bit of a break, maybe about a week, and I signed back up for the test. You have to wait 45 days after failing the test before you can take the test again. So I had to wait until the beginning of March. And then once I went to find a spot, I didn't find one until March 19th, I think it was. And so the whole time I got a couple different online study things. I got one that said they had a 99% pass rate, and it was pretty expensive, but I got it. They had a couple days where you could go online, and there was an online class. They had an instructor teaching you how to figure out what the answers were, and then having ways to determine what the best answer was, because the test is very hard, and so you have to learn the skills of how to eliminate the answers that might sound good but aren't the best, because all of the answers could be possible answers, but you have to pick the best one, which is the hard part. So I got that, and going a couple days before March 19th, I was feeling super good about it. I was ready to take the test, and that is around the time when all of the coronavirus stuff started happening. And so 3 days before I was going to take my test, they sent out an email and a notification on their website saying that all of their testing centers had to be closed because of this virus. And so I was no longer going to take the test in 3 days, and they were going to open the testing centers back up April 16th. So that was about a month from that time. And so I went back online to schedule my test. I couldn't get one until May 1st. And so I was like, okay, now I have 2 more months before I can take this test. I'm gonna take a couple of days off and just relax, because now I don't have to study anymore. And I was studying super hard. I was studying for like 12 hours a day the week before I was supposed to take my test. So I was like, I deserve a break. I'm gonna take a couple days off, and then I'm going to just kind of half study for those 2 months and just maintain the knowledge that I have gained. And so I think it was 5 days or so passed. Let's just say about a week passed, and I hadn't studied that whole week because I just needed time off. And then I got an email from my manager at work because I had a job set up for me at the hospital to be an RN since October, since before I graduated nursing school. So my manager was wanting me to take the test as soon as possible in order to fill that spot. Otherwise, she was going to give it to someone else. And so she emailed me a week later, and all the email said was good news, and it had a little link attached to the Minnesota Board of Nursing. And so I went on there and I looked, and it said that they were going to open some testing centers so that people could take their tests because they were in need of nurses. And so then I went back on to where you can sign up to register for your test, and long story short, I got a spot for like 5 days later. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it, because they had shortened the test time, and so instead of a minimum of 75 questions, they changed it to a minimum of 60, and instead of a maximum of 265, they shortened it to 130. And instead of having 6 hours to take it, we would now have 4 hours to take it. And so I was like, okay, this could be a practice test just to go in and see if I studied enough to be able to pass, and if I don't, then I'll have to take it 45 days after, which would be May anyway. And so I signed up for the test, and I was going to take it in 4 days. So I was like, okay, I have 4 days to cram in everything that I can to get my testing skills back up. So I was taking practice test after practice test and learning some more content stuff, so I had that base knowledge in order to reach those higher level questions. And I just hammered it out for 4 days. The day of the test comes. I didn't tell anyone that I was going to take the test, because I didn't want all of the outside thoughts or opinions to influence what the mindset that I had going into it. And so I told my family that I was going into work that morning for only half a shift, because the maximum we had was 4 hours anyway, so I would be home by the time my shift at the hospital would end. And so I got up that morning. I actually put on my scrubs when leaving the house and coming back, so that I could make my family think I was going to work. And I went and I took the test. And the first time I took it, I didn't take any breaks, which was a mistake. And always take breaks. And then the second time I took it, I passed question 60. I was like, okay, it's not stopping me. I'm gonna take a break, refresh my mind, eat something, take a little walk, go to the bathroom, whatever. I came back, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break at 110 questions. And so I came back, I worked through it, and it stopped me after 106 questions. And I had known that the previous questions that I had gotten before it stopped me were the higher level questions. And so the computer turned off, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I just passed. And so I finished with 2 hours before I was supposed to be home. And so I just had to sit in my car, talking to a friend on the phone, and just being on my phone to waste those 2 hours before I could go home. So I went home. I didn't tell anyone what I did until I found out the next day what my scores were. So I woke up the next day, I checked online, and it said I had passed. And so then I told my aunt and uncle and my cousins, I told my grandparents, and then I waited for my dad to come home from work later that day, and I told my whole family, and they were all super surprised. They thought I had gotten a temporary license, or they had just given it to me, or something like that. And I was like, no, I didn't actually go to work yesterday. I took the test and I passed, and they were all really excited for me. And I told my manager. I took the test on a Tuesday, found out on a Wednesday. I texted my manager that Wednesday, and she's like, can you start on Tuesday? So 6 days later, she wanted me to start, and I was like, yeah, I can. And so 6 days later, I started. So that was today's Sunday. That was this past Tuesday. So I've been a nurse for a week and a half, and it's going great so far. I'm learning a lot, and I'm really excited to keep on learning and to keep on my nursing journey. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other nursing questions, if you have topics that you want me to talk about, or just like if you want me to do a Q&A of different questions that you have, please let me know. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye.